Yes. Please have a seat, Mr. Kincaid. Have a seat. Have a seat. Um, First off, once again, my condolences regarding your wife. Yes, my condolences. I do appreciate the fact that you came down to the police station. Yes. Well, yes, I know it's a little unusual to have a yellow desk mat, but I find that mellow yellow is a relaxing color. In my line of work as a homicide detective, it helps. It helps. But yes, well, how can I say this, Mr. Kincaid? Uh, we've found the individual who unfortunately, well, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, no, no, Mr. Kincaid. It had nothing to do with that new employee who was having financial problems. Yes. Well, he's still having financial problems, but no, had nothing to do with him. Um, Nor did it have anything to do with that group of, how did you call them, new school gangbangers near the mansion. No, no, no. Well, Mr. Kincaid, it didn't take a lot of investigating to find out that they were just Kia boys. Hmm. Hmm. I'm sure you've heard of them. They were a lot more well known a year or two ago. They would break into Kia and Hyundai vehicles that did not have a push to start button, and they could easily steal them using, now what was it? A USB charging cable, that sort of thing. And yeah, apparently Hyundai did a better job of responding to the issue than Kia, but still, never should have happened. Yeah, they were just chasing social media clout. I mean, after all, your wife was usually very generous with longtime employees, and, well, the individual she had was working at a local Kia dealership, and, well, they were the ones supplying Kia Rio hatchbacks for the various employees who worked for you and your very elderly wife. Oh, Mr. Kincaid, Mr. Kincaid, let's not pretend. I'm not implying anything. Let's just be honest with each other, Mr. Kincaid. I mean, let's see, your wife was 60 years old, 60, and you're barely 24. I mean, you've got rugged, handsome, good looks, and according to your urologist whom we spoke to, you have an abnormally large. Oh, Mr. Kincaid, please sit down. Sit down. You're going to want to sit down. Yes. Oh, uh, HIPAA, medical records, privacy. Well, it's not like I'm presenting this information in a court of law, am I, Mr. Kincaid? No, no. And by the way, it wasn't your urologist who provided us with that information. Funny how nurses love to gossip. Yes, they do. Oh, let's face it, Mr. Kincaid. Your wife married a very wealthy, very elderly gentleman long ago. And she definitely earned all that money she had when he passed away. She inherited all of it. Her family was never really there for her. And as for his family, well, they were outraged until she basically tossed them $100,000 each and told them that's all you're getting. If you want to fight the will or contest the will, you'll get nothing. And considering that the rest of his family members weren't very wealthy and not really on speaking terms with him, they each took the money and, well, scooted off. But you see, Mr. Kincaid, you pretty much did the same thing, didn't you? Didn't you? Yeah. Let's see, how old was your wife when she married her 65-year-old first husband? Yeah. 19? Yeah. She was 19. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gave him quite a few good years, didn't she? Yeah, yeah. Turns out she liked to keep the toys that they used. Yeah, our police officers found them. Yeah, well, they find all sorts of nasty little things, don't they? Yeah, funny what people keep. But you see, Mr. Kincaid, I mean, you basically did the same thing. Young man, very early 20s, marries a 60-year-old woman. Come on, Mr. Kincaid, we both know what went on. I'm sure she made the same promise to you that her first husband made to her. Stay with me, pleasure me, and all this will be yours when I'm gone. The thing is, Mr. Kincaid, her first husband lived for a surprisingly long time. And your wife, well, she was patient. She waited her turn. Yes, she did. By the time he expired, she had quite a bit of time to enjoy his money. And she did. But also, she was smart enough not to throw it all away. I mean, it's probably a good thing he didn't pass away a few years earlier. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been mature enough to make sure to save most of his fortune for the rest of her life. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny what good-looking, sexy people, especially sexy young women, can get away with. How they have it so easy in life. But it's not just women, isn't it, Mr. Kincaid? You're young, good-looking, handsome, six-pack of abs. Yeah, that was actually in the police report. Yeah. I mean, By the time we found you in Barcelona, Italy, you were climbing out of a swimming pool, barely wearing anything. Yeah, an impressive six-pack of abs. You must work very hard to maintain that tight body. Oh, Mr. Kincaid, come on now. I'm not flirting with you. Why would I? No. I mean, here's the thing. You told us that you were in Barcelona for 2 weeks. That's not really true. Yeah. You were in Barcelona for 2 days. Well, that private charter plane. Yes. Yes. Well, at first, the pilot didn't want to talk. I mean, the two of you had known each other for years. Really good friends. Really good. Oh, no, Mr. Kincaid, I'm not implying anything. You keep thinking I am. I don't know why. No. But you and your good friend reached a deal for a lot of money. Thing is, your friend actually has a conscience, and he started saying a few things to us. Well, we didn't have any proof. No, we didn't have any proof. But unfortunately for you, we would get some. Yes. Remember that new security guard working the graveyard shift, or more professionally, third shift? Yes, the one from, let's see, what's the name of that company? Azure Security Consultants. Azure. Isn't that Spanish for the word blue, as in the color blue? Azure. Oh, you're not sure. Yes. I believe it is. Funny thing to name your security company, Blue Security Consultants. But I guess in this wealthy part of America, where most of the rich white clients have no clue what Azure means, it sounds exotic, it sounds impressive, it sounds high-end. Yeah, the Spanish maid got a good laugh out of that. Oh no, she has nothing to do with this case. Apparently your wife didn't like the job that the previous security company was doing, so she personally hired Azure to take care of things around the property. And yeah, that graveyard shift guard, the one at the main gate, yeah, that little security guard booth with the monitor and the chair and the air conditioning and the small table and not much else. Yeah, it turns out that he's not some lazy, worthless pile of garbage. Yeah. Turns out he kept very detailed notes. Very detailed. Now, of course, there's the logbook, the official logbook, but every professional security officer carries their own flashlight, their own pen, usually more than one, and their own small notebook or memo book. Yeah, they use that for writing down anything unusual they see on the job. That way, when they have time later on to write their incident reports, they don't have to go by memory. They've got all the details, all the information in their memo book. And, yeah, turns out Blue Security Consultants, or Azure, is a very professional company, despite the silly name. One of the things they like to do is actually supply their security guards with not just pens, but notebooks as well. Yes, as you can see, Azure or Blue. Yeah. Every security officer gets issued a notepad. Kind of strange for the security industry. And this guard was definitely issued one. Funny thing is, it went missing. But that's because he misplaced it. Of course, we found it. Yes, we did. We helped him look for it. Mr. Kincaid, you might as well confess now. Oh, well, the thing is about that notebook, yeah, the guard recorded a certain tan, very old, somewhat rusty Pontiac Bonneville sedan. Very suspicious vehicle, just outside the property. Took down the license plate as well. Along with the VIN number. Now we tracked that car down to a private seller on Craigslist. The private seller you bought the sedan from for $1,100. I get it, Mr. Kincaid. You just needed a car that ran, that worked. It didn't matter if it was in the best of shape. You just needed it for one night, didn't you? Yes. Oh, you left for Barcelona when you said you did. But you came back about 3 days afterwards. You picked up your cheap piece of garbage, $1,100 car that barely ran, but it ran. You picked it up at the airport where you had dropped it off. Drove to your lovely home, that mansion. Left it parked near the main entrance where the security guard noticed it. Because of course he did. The damn thing was covered in rust and it was over a decade old. You don't see those types of cars in that neighborhood without noticing. Then you made your way around to the side of the building where you knew there weren't any security cameras, no security guards. And with your mountain climbing hobby, it would have been easy for you to scale the wall, get inside, physically eliminate your wife, poor frail thing that she was. Climb back out, casually walk to your piece of crap car, get into that large hoopty, and then just drive off. And then, thanks to your friend with the private jet, you flew back to Barcelona, where our detectives found you. Yeah, my partner was the one who got to enjoy that quick little trip out there. Yes, he did, while I stayed behind. But, Mr. Kincaid, you messed up. You messed up. Well, you should have gotten rid of the car. We found it at your wife's summer home, parked in the garage. We spoke with the person who sold you that car. He was selling it for parts. We spoke with your friend, we leaned on him, and like I said, we found that security guard's notebook detailing your hoopty. You almost got away with it, Mr. Kincaid. You want to hear the truly messed up part? We found out that your wife had an infection, a really bad one. They didn't catch it early. She had, at most, a year left. That's right, 1 year. Had you just been patient, you'd be rich as hell in a year, instead of rotting in a prison cell. Oh, no, Mr. Kincaid. There's 2 officers and my partner standing outside the door, waiting to arrest you. Yeah, you're done. You should have just waited for a year. Oh, of course you didn't know. Now you do. Goodbye, Mr. Kincaid.